Viewers, what a night. Truly, truly explosive. Why is day three always so crazy? Well, still the traitors remain at large. None have been detected. How are they feeling with their successes, and how will they feel when they find out if they have a new friend on their team or not?
What's up?
When I saw Chell come back on that screen, I was like, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over.
My
I'm going.
heart,
That
my
is,
heart sank. My heart sank. I'll tell you right now, my heart sank. I was like, oh shit. If there's anybody that can throw sus on me right now and Daniel, it's that guy.
and the thing
Yeah.
is, Melissa, were
Well,
you in
nobody
the
even
room?
wanted voted him back in, so we're good. You're safe. You're awesome.
Wait, you did, Matt?
No, I voted
Wait,
Caleb.
who'd
I
you vote
voted
for?
Patrice.
I also voted Patrice.
Yeah.
Yeah. There
Melissa,
Oh
was
my
no
God.
there was no way I couldn't vote for Caleb. And I explained to Patrice too. I was like, I have to. I had to. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told
But
people
the
that
whole night was
Patrice
just
was,
insane.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Patrice, everybody was just blown out of the water about Patrice.
So
Mhm.
I'll tell y'all right now. I'm glad I voted the way I did because it was a way to get Stick to talk to me.
It, the
Did
wait,
she
what?
message you?
Yeah, we're gonna talk. We're talking.
Who?
That's good.
You
Stick,
and Victoria?
no Stick.
Like,
Oh, Stick. Yeah.
I
Me and
was,
Victoria
Yeah.
were already talking. She just left me on red. We'll
Oh,
just leave
okay.
it at that. Yeah.
well,
But
Victorian sticker
Just
kind of
thinking
going back
about it.
and
wait, what happened?
Victorian sticker going back and forth in our group chat, and I don't want to open it. But
Yeah,
they're
you
like,
guys were you guys weren't there. It was me. Who? It was four people. It was me, Victoria, Stick, and Anthony. We were in a room. It was like the very last bit of it. But basically, what Victoria was getting at was us dismissing that Jonathan couldn't be the one to kill Patrice because it would be too obvious is actually is actually kind of stupid of us because if it were the other way, where let's say if Patrice was sussing Jonathan openly, then at that point it would look stupid for Jonathan to kill Patrice because Patrice was actively, openly going after him. But Patrice never openly said anything about Jonathan and never had any doubts about Jonathan. So therefore, he could have very well done it. That's the point that Victoria was getting at. And
Yeah.
Stick and Anthony were obviously like, wait, well, hold on, what? So that's kind of why the back and forth started happening. And even Stick was like you could just see in her face, like what the
what
fuck?
are you talking
You know?
about?
Yeah. So I get what Victoria was getting at. She's so fucking smart. She's so smart and
She is
dangerous.
very smart.
But no one's listening to her. That's what it is. No one's listening to her.
Well, we
So
need to listen.
yeah.
Well, welcome
And so,
back, traders.
Hi.
So, how are
can
we
you believe our
feeling?
acting skills or what? That's right.
How are we feeling after tonight's
Scared.
activities?
Oh, I feel fine.
I think we left again with a lot more questions for everybody, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what we want. We want them to not know what's going on. We want them to think they know, but then they don't really know. And you know what?
Chaos.
You caught us off guard too, Phil. Bringing in people back,
So,
bringing in people that could
I
potentially
know.
dismantle our games. Shoot, you caught
Like,
us by
I
surprise
wanted to be a
tonight.
murderer, and you freaking didn't make it happen.
now I gotta erase
Resurrections.
Patrice's X on his name.
Well, how do you feel about Caleb and Patrice returning to the game?
I'm actually happy Caleb back in the game. I have to say it. I can't stress it enough because now, like, if there's anybody that can clear my name, it's him, the person I voted for.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. Patrice, I think Patrice is absolutely like there is a fire under his ass. He is going to be playing hard.
I think
So
he will be now.
we
Like, I
have
think he was before, but now I think he has more motivation.
it's turned up. It's turned up. So I think
But we have to be very, very careful with him.
for us, I think just, kind of talking to him, hearing him out, giving him something that he can chew on is probably the best way to keep him off of us specifically.
Yeah.
How do you feel Tina's elimination will help or hurt you?
I'll start
I
with this.
definitely don't think it hurt us at all. Not at all. Um, and it helps regardless that she was a faithful, well, obviously, but it just creates more chaos and nobody knows. They don't know what direction to go now.
Are you feeling confident or in danger?
I feel more
I'm
confident.
good. I think Matt and Daniel is always good, and I think Matt's in a better place.
All right. Well, before we continue, I need you to mute and turn off your cameras, please. So let's see which of the returning eliminated players is coming back into the game as a traitor, and how will the group of three traitors now work together as four? Let's bring in our new traitor who has been a traitor since finding out just actually quite recently. And let's see how they are reacting to their new game and how they feel when they come face to face with those that have been lying to him so far in the game. I'm just kidding. You guys can turn on your cameras. There's no additional traitor.
Yeah, I had
Oh
a
my
feeling.
God. I'm
You
like,
said
what the
you
fuck?
said we weren't recruiting anymore. I was like, wait a minute.
That's crazy.
So I
You
was
almost got
screaming.
us.
I'm like, this is why he needed more time, huh? He needed to tell the
Yeah,
first person.
Phil,
Jesus.
Phil, you are so dastardly.
All right. So, couple other things. We do have Patrice, Caleb, and Brandon all holding a shield. Did any of them, were any of them like an option for you guys to murder tonight? And if so, why? Like, do you wish you could have murdered any of them tonight?
I feel like after Brandon, and we even suspected Brandon that he had the secret power. So I feel
Y'all,
like,
We
y'all were
did,
right.
which I
Y'all
thought
were
it was
yeah,
right.
funny. We
yeah,
totally thought Brandon had it, and he
yeah,
did.
yeah. I feel like if the
Um,
events didn't play out, Brandon probably would have been one. I don't know. That's what I mentioned last time, but
I think between the three, yeah, Brandon would have definitely been at least for us, we could have possibly gotten that power out if we did vote him out. So I think he would have been the better option if they were available.
I
Um,
would agree with Brandon. Um, yeah.
all right. Well, as well, Patrice and Caleb each are going to be giving out a shield in secret. Any concerns?
I'm
Uh,
worried that he'll give us Shield, who we're going to try to pin as the next traitor.
I'm just worried that I feel like it's assumed that Caleb's gonna give it to Brandon, but I hope that he didn't talk to him or people didn't talk to him and say like, "Oh, you know what would be smart? Give it to somebody else because the traders probably think you're gonna give it to Brandon." Oh wait, Brandon's never mind. Just kidding.
Brandon
Ignore me.
already has one.
Yeah, I forgot. So he damn.
I mean, Caleb
I
could
feel like
potentially give it to
Caleb
me.
will give his to Adam.
I don't think so. I think Patrice would either pick Adam or Anthony.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. One of those two are getting his shield. That's why I didn't even try to be like Patrice, hook me up, because I don't think he would buy it if I was to do that, and I'd rather them do their thing. I think Caleb could potentially give it to me if I was to really persuade him to,
Yeah.
because that would be good. The less shields out there, the more we can work with.
Yeah.
And I still think it would be good too because I mean you're not 100% out of the bush.
Yeah, yeah. And me fighting for a shield makes me look more like a faithful, if anything.
Yeah.
So that was actually one of the
Hmm.
things I was gonna do was message Caleb.
Yeah, I would. I would.
Did Caleb and Patrice already give their shields away to somebody?
Well, we don't know.
No. We're not picking a murder tonight, are we?
Yeah, that was my next question.
Are we?
We
Well,
don't have to if you guys aren't ready
I'm
to.
fine.
oh, you guys have come to the turret. So just letting you know, you guys decided to come to the turret. So I am now going to give you up to 15 minutes to discuss together who you would like to murder tonight. I would like to hear from each of you at least three names that potentially you could see get murdered tonight in no particular order, and please explain why.
You guys want to go first?
Sure. I would murder to really make it chaotic. I would almost want to murder Brad.
Do we feel like we need Jonathan at another roundtable?
Yes.
I think so. And Melissa and I were actually in a room with him, and I don't want to say he seemed upset, but he said that he feels like an outcast and like he's not talking to anyone. And I was like, we can
Yeah.
chat here. So I feel like me and Melissa, I can message him tonight, Melissa, and the three of us, and we can just start
Yeah. Make a
building
group
that.
with the three of
Yeah.
us. Yeah. I think we should
Yeah,
keep Jonathan for
I
one
met,
more
I
table.
actually messaged him right away. After we got off, he was the first person I messaged.
Same.
Yeah, good. I did
So
mention it. I messaged him too.
so
Um,
the only reason why I mentioned him is because he's for sure faithful now. Like
Mhm.
there's he doesn't have any doubt on him anymore.
Yeah.
no,
You know what I'm saying? So we can't get him out at a banishment. That is just that that's done.
Can I ask you guys a
I just
question?
don't know if I want to murder him out yet.
It's the only way we're gonna get him out. We're not gonna get him out on banishment anymore.
Jonathan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no one's gonna buy it. He earned Adam, he earned Patrice, he earned Anthony, and it looks like he earned me as well. That's four people already. If Brad also believes him and Brad was backing him up
Brad-
tonight, then he also has Brad. That's five people right there.
well, you can count me into that too because I did back him up.
He's not gonna go on a banishment. He's not anymore. So that's why we have to be careful. If we leave him another roundtable, then I think us three should make a group, lock him down, so that he knows that we got his back. But then he would also try to like figure it out, like, hey, they're working together, obviously, but when they're on screen, they don't really talk
Yeah.
to each other.
You said
That
that.
would make sense. It's a good option. And then I feel like Brad and Victoria would be my other two.
Yeah, Victoria's getting sus on her, a lot of it
Yeah.
too. Like especially her not really speaking as much, and then her doing the whole back and forth with Stick.
Hmm.
And then you can spin off. Well, no, if we're murdering Brad, I was going to say if
That
we didn't murder Brad, then somehow we could start to spin it off that maybe Brad was the traitor and convince everybody that Tina was the traitor.
I
I
mean,
I wonder if we could still carry that narrative or not. Still, I don't know if it has enough
because Brad was
oomph
backing up
behind it.
Jonathan. Brad was backing up Jonathan tonight, and it makes you wonder. Well, if Brad was backing up Jonathan, and we know Tina was for sure a faithful, and we possibly could raise that narrative if we keep Brad in here. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because like
yeah, that's my thought process.
he's backing up Jonathan because maybe he knows for a fact Jonathan is a faithful. And how would that solidify that if Jonathan gets murdered?
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be really hard for me because me, Adam, and Brad just had a group chat, and we before this conversation we said let's make a group of three. We're locked in, we trust each other, and I feel like it's gonna be really hard for me to talk to everybody about that after I just locked it in with them three.
Yeah.
Which three?
Adam and
Which
Brad.
one? Adam,
So
Brad, and
Because I essentially told Brad, like, okay, now that I know that Tina was a faithful, like 100% trust you, now I understand, blah, blah, blah. and it was me and him talking in a room for a while by ourselves, and then we were talking about how who do we trust or whatever, we need like a small group, whatever. And then I even mentioned like what Sandra said in the US season Traitors, where like you have to make an alliance, make a group, whatever. And it sounds dumb because like obviously like you it's like it's not Survivor, right? But like if you can get a small group of people that you trust the most and try to get forward. And I just feel like I already talked to him about that. So again, whatever moves us forward at the end of the day. But I'm just worried about
So
myself.
we basically, I'm gonna be honest, I'm in the same situation. You and I could never vote for Brad in a banishment without looking sus.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the only way we could actually get him out is in a banishment. But if we risk getting him out in a banishment, then the sus is gonna have to go somewhere else.
Mhm.
Because the whole Tina Brad thing, I think it still can carry over.
Mhm.
But if we don't do Brad, I truthfully feel like the only other option, like clear option we could get, because they'll never go. And if we want to keep Jonathan in, it's gonna have to be Adam. He's 100% faithful. 100% faithful. No one's doubting Adam at all. To get him out on a banishment, and he's starting to speak up a lot more.
But I feel like he'll get a shield.
Exactly. So we have to really be smart on who we're choosing because that shield is another thing. I don't see Brad getting a shield, right?
No.
Victoria probably won't get a shield either.
Do you guys, what
Yeah,
do you guys think
I'd
about,
have to say Jonathan, Brad, and Victoria are my top three for those reasons.
can I ask you guys, what do you think about murdering Stick?
It, I feel
She's
like I would be in the same situation Jonathan was in tonight.
yeah,
So
that makes sense too.
it would either make or break my game. Like it would make it in the sense that people are like, yeah, it's obviously the same thing, but does lightning strike twice?
Yeah,
So
that's just how I feel
I
about
think
Adam.
I think
I
for
feel like
that reason we should let her go for at least one more round table.
yeah, especially to give me time to talk to her, really like, you know, set it in there that we're good.
you don't think that they would
So
try to play Victoria? You don't think that like Victoria or Stick even like might have told like because they're kind of not
they're
anymore,
being
but they're not no, they're good now. They stopped, but they were chatting a little bit or whatever. And then she
yeah.
was questioning like, "Oh, Victoria, can you explain this? This is blah blah blah." And I'm assuming again it came from that conversation that you guys had at the
Yeah.
end. Um,
How would you guys feel about Anthony?
Personally, love the guy. I have not had any conversations with him about game, and so if he got murdered, Anthony, if you watch this back,
I
you
love
Which
you,
I,
Anthony.
but
I love
I
you,
like you
bro.
seem so great.
which
Like
one you
we just
mentioned?
connected today essentially, but we have not talked game at all. So like if it's Anthony,
He may be a good route because remember the whole thing about voting Patrice out was so I can get Anthony, but now we could get
yeah.
Anthony out and Patrice could, be working with me.
And I just feel
I
like
like that theory.
yeah.
I'd be okay with that too.
Yeah, because no one and Anthony has obviously been the lead in the conversations. Like he's literally that person. He's literally the person that he brings out the faithful in me. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
you know what would be surprising?
what's up?
Anthony would be a more surprising murder than Jonathan,
I think so. I think so. I agree.
which will cause more chaos. And I think chaos is what it needs.
And think about it. Tina goes, Anthony goes. He's obviously a faithful. It literally
Yeah.
Stick by herself as the sole returnee, and the whole theory flown around. One of the
Mhm.
returnees are a traitor.
Which Anthony could be in
Yeah.
quotations.
And I've talked with this to Victoria too. We literally have a set. It was me, her, and Stick. But then she messaged me separately. I messaged her separately, whatever it is. And so we talked separately inside because we both know like Stick, you're great and everything, but like this is where, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can always pull Victoria in for that too.
So that's kind of where my head's at.
I feel like
Anthony,
we have options.
possibly Brad, possibly Jonathan, possibly Adam. That's where I'm at right now.
Now, what happens if Anthony is the one who had the shield? He doesn't get murdered. What do you think they're gonna think? Like, oh, like if they try to murder Anthony or whoever the other person is.
And I feel like that's what we have to think about too. Who would Patrice give the shield to,
Hmm.
Anthony or Adam?
Hmm. I feel like Patrice would probably think who the most faithful is, and he would probably give it to them because he thinks that the traitors would kill the most faithful.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll give it to Jonathan.
I feel
I
like if
don't
I
think
was
Caleb will.
if I was to talk in that chat a little bit, I would be able to get the answer of who he's gonna use it on, unless he doesn't say anything at all in that chat. That's the one thing.
I think our safest bet may be Jonathan.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Only because
Right.
we know he won't have a shield. I'd hate to waste a murder on Anthony with the possibility of him getting a shield. And
but
Adam is an even higher possibility.
but Jonathan could easily have a conversation with Patrice and be like, "Yo, I need that shield." Like, obviously,
Yeah.
I'm
He was
coming out
floating
of
around to
here.
people today that he feels left out and like an outcast. So I feel like he'd be able to, Patrice and Caleb specifically, I feel like he'd be able to talk them to giving it to him. Or just they'll feedback they'll
I
want to.
do like the chaos murdering Anthony would bring.
But that would have to be if Anthony doesn't have the shield. That's the only thing.
And yeah.
But you're
But I
doing
feel
the
like that's
same
the
theory for Jonathan too and Adam, right?
yeah.
Like
And I feel like Anthony is probably like the least, I don't know.
us, or at least in the bullseye, I think.
And the least like repercussions if he is the one who has a shield. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Matt? Because I know your wheels are turning.
Yeah, because I'm only thinking about if they discuss it. If they discuss it in that chat, who's getting the shield, and then the traitors go and murder that person, and that person doesn't die, does that make me look less sus or more
Say
sus?
that one more time. And who is they?
So basically, there's Anthony. Oh yeah, there's another chat. We added Adam in. So there's Anthony, uh, Patrice, me, and then Adam. So the four of us. So if Patrice truthfully like delegates who he's giving the shield to in that chat, and then we go and try to kill that person and they don't die, does that make me look more sus or less sus? Because that's the only thing
Unless
I'm thinking.
you can try to
Less us
control the
because,
conversation in that group chat.
Now
but
what if he lies?
I feel like it's
It's a risk.
less us because he if you know who he's giving the shield to, you as a traitor wouldn't murder someone in your group chat.
But like what if he lied? Like I'm saying, what if he lied about it? What if he says a name? So I'm like, all right, y'all, it's for sure gonna be like
Yeah, but
Adam who gets it, but then he goes and gives it to Anthony, and then we try to kill Anthony.
I see what
I
you're
don't think
saying.
that should cast suspicion on you, though.
No.
No,
Like
even if he was lying.
you don't think he would do that? Like lie about where the shield's going?
I mean,
To
then
Oh,
again,
I wouldn't
it's
say he
two
wouldn't
shields.
lie, but
It's
I
not
just
just
don't think it
hit.
would. I just don't think it would cast suspicion to you specifically. I mean, it could cast suspicion to Adam. It could, Anthony.
Because
It could be any of them.
the only thing I'm thinking about is what Jonathan said, where if Patrice got murdered, then he had to have been, or even for Chell and for Caleb, it had to have been somebody who was close to them.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I'm thinking about. But again, I could be just big braining it, overthinking it.
I, I understand where you're coming from, but I just
Yeah.
feel like there are two shields too. It's not just one. So even if no one gets murdered, yes, it could have been Anthony, but it could have been whoever Caleb gives it to. Now,
It
yes,
also could have been a recruit.
it'll be really
It could have been
crappy if Caleb
recruitment as
gives it to
well.
Adam, but
Oh yeah, yeah. So Caleb and Patrice basically give one Adam and then one Anthony. That would
mm,
suck.
It would.
yeah.
But again,
But
it's hard to tell. I mean, we can guess, but we could sit here all night and guess,
Yeah.
really,
yeah.
right?
Like at the end of the day, we have to
And
shoot a shot.
yeah,
All right. I'm between Jonathan and Anthony. That's where I'm at.
me too.
How are you
Me,
feeling, Daniel?
I don't want to reveal who am. I don't know if Phil wants us to reveal now, but from those two, I'd rather do Anthony. However, like I've said since the beginning, whatever moves us forward is fine with me.
All right, well, that is
I'm on
time,
the Anthony
traders.
train.
So you're really doing a great job running this game really well. I just want you to know that. And it is time to make a decision. So before you do, viewers, please join us for day 4, where we will reveal who the traders have decided to murder next.